They're trying to deplatform us.
Oh no!
We're building a new app. It's called
BOOBYFCK.
Everyone has their. Okay, so what I was sort of like tantalizing the viewership with is that there is a live act you were doing during that very same time where you were very much like no longer covered, you were actually exposed. So what's your experience? And I kind of think people, honestly, personally, like we're all fucking animals. We arrived here naked, and like I love being naked, and I think everyone should just get the fuck over it. But what is your experience playing with the card of the female body and the audience? What's your journey been there?
So actually, there's a pretty straightforward answer to this one. At the same time that I entered comedy, I was stripping. So, and I was working the lunch shift at a strip club, which is a horrible experience. But basically, I was having to live a very specific version of the way you can present your body naked for money. And then I was trying to challenge myself to present the exact opposite as a performer at comedy shows, and seeing if I could fully disrobe and be in no way sexy and in no way inviting and in no way something like that you could objectify, and instead something that was like more akin to the way that we view male nudity, which can be more in your face and more hilarious.
It's very confronting in the way.
Right.
That brings so much light in, and it's a retrospective for me now, knowing the bit, like how now that I know the confronting aspect that you were playing with is very exciting to me. So, okay, I'm gonna ask you a fun question. So I think it's fun because I'm a narcissist, but you know, all questions to me are fun. So my darling, I want you to do, imagine there's a retrospective. Okay, poor Ember, it's your last day today. So they're doing a retrospective tomorrow, okay, of all your work. What 3 pieces would feel representative of the journey of you as an evolving artist?
It would be 1 piece of shaky cell phone footage from the lion suit era, where everybody is mad at me and I'm screaming. And it would be my feature film, King of LA, which is in the blue suit, and which I still stand by as probably one of the best things that, it's probably the best thing I've made so far. And then I would pick 1 thing from the new project, which is like the Ember Night show and the Smalls that we made for Adult Swim, which are very like, they're the character from King of LA who was a transition period from the lion suit and into something that is more realized and more structured and like more in control of their environment.
Amazing. Okay, so if you were to say like thematically what the arc is of those or what ties them together, what would it be?
It's literally just control of your environment. It's the story of like going from having no power and demanding it to being someone who is like has enough security and control of their space that you can be calm. And I think that the idea of like being calm and being able to present something that is mannerly and that is kind it comes from a place of having your fucking needs met and having eaten that day.
Yes, so like from Little Rascal to like King.
It's like important for me to show that it's the same person who is a freak and then who is able to present you with like good manners. And it's just about how much that person is like got a good night's sleep and like got enough protein.
Well, that's actually very true. It's like the privilege of having the base to be emotionally sound is
right.
Okay, my darling, with that in mind, I want to hear, because like, you know, I entitled the State of the Multiverse today chaos fatigue, because I feel like we're all like so over being like shocked. It's like the shock and awe is like shock and like, oh, going to bed. What has been the most like resilient habit for like keeping you good, and what has been your guilty pleasure for keeping you good through this whole thing?
Probably, that's an interesting question, because I recently lost what has been holding me together, which was the Adult Swim Smalls being in production and being like a thing that we were working on.
Yes.
And now that it is gone from me and it's out in the world, even though I should theoretically be happy, I've actually ended a journey and ended this thing that I was clinging to for warmth. So I am now spiraling into guilty pleasures. Like I bought cigarettes for the first time in all of quarantine today. And like, I've just been, you know, having a hard time working out.
I'm glad I'm meeting you at this like moment though, my darling. Transitions. I always say whenever I'm in an airport, I'm always like, I shouldn't be here, whatever. I'm always like, bitch, don't make decisions in airports. And I think that applies to all transitions. You're in postpartum, girl.
It's true.
Boy, girl. Okay. Get at me every time I do this. What is your preferred pronoun these days?
For press stuff, I go with they because it's shorter than a very long conversation. And if anybody has more questions, I'm like, please listen to my most recent record. I feel that it sums it up.
And you know what, my darling? I love that. I love that your explanation for using they is it's shorter than a long conversation. So anyone who says like it's so hard, it's like try like having an experience and like
right.
If you want to have a full dialogue, then you can like respect the fact that somebody wants to have like longer than a five word letters. You just 5 letters, you put them together. I can't read, and I still can say they. Look at
That's fine.
So I want to ask you what feels like. Okay, I love that you are acknowledging the fact that you're in this transition period. If you were to take a little like telescope towards the future of Ember's career, all the way to the end of it, what do you see as the evolution? Like we've been on this evolution, right? There's been this struggle with identity, feeling like you have to, then being like ripping the identity away in the lion suit, fucking with how it's perceived, coming to this grounded place where you're like, I can actually be the king. Fuck, I can be the king of my own life and like create from a grounded center place. What feels like if you were to parachute your way all the way to the future and the day that you're like, I'm ready to just like pass out and like watercolor, I don't have to create like real art anymore. What would be the evolution that you're going on?
I literally am exactly struggling to answer this question right now.
That's how we're here, I guess. I guess we found out why we're here.
Yeah, I feel that I've gotten to the end of the philosophy that's carried me this far, and now that I'm not, I mean, I'm still poor, but I'm not a universal victim in the way that I was before. Like now I have some power. I guess I'm reframing my idea of goals around like valuing the space between wanting something and achieving it as opposed to the achievement. So that's very interesting to me right now. And I'm also very drawn to how to work well with others because I think that there's a cap on how interesting my personal project can be while it's just me.
My darling, this is exactly where I felt you were. When you started to speak, I was like, you know what? You've explored identity to the point where you actually want the collaboration, which I feel like is 2021. We're really towards that place of like, now what do we do together? What crazy evolution can happen here? If you were right now, you get a table, okay? You get a table and you get to put 5 people on that table, and these are your collaborators.
Oh boy.
Next year, okay? You get 5 collaborators for the next year. Who are they?
Okay. That is hard, obviously.
Well, I should let you know that Brava is always with you, so you don't have to include me. I'm there.
Definitely my partner, Bobby, who has directed all of my film work and is an angel from heaven. He is a huge part of the Ember Night Show. He's an aesthetic genius. I'm very, very, like, I just would not be able to translate my ideas without him. I can do other things without him, but I'm very grateful to have him on my team. Probably I want to work with Matt Johnson, who is the director of the Viceland show, Nirvana the band, the show. They do a lot of really weird, like, weird is the wrong word. They do a lot of insane guerrilla shooting to make comedy, and you can't really tell what's like reality and what's not.
I must follow.
You must. I don't think he's online, but he's Canadian.
Oh my god, he just got so much cooler. Oh my god, he's like in the woods, you have to like find him. Like he's streaming on a tree. I love it.
I definitely want to work with Johnny Knoxville.
Yes, please. Go for
huge
that.
crush, who's hero. Aware that these are all men.
It's okay. You know what? This is unfiltered.
It's a good question. I might have to come back to you on the other 2.
Well, you might have to like let these other non-male identifying people emerge, because I do feel we're on the precipice, you know, like
sure.
They're arriving in the moment.
I know it.
It's been
I haven't met him yet.
Do you know that Johnny Knoxville's partner, what's his name? I forgot, but he banged into my car, who was the reason I went home for Christmas last year. Because he like gave me money to fix a car, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely fixing a car. No, I'm gonna go home and see my family. I have to make those decisions because I'm not like the elite. Yeah, but Johnny, what's his name? Do you remember? I can't remember. Johnny Knoxville's like partner in crime, whatever. He has a funny name. Anyway, that's just a
Chris
little.
Pontius?
I can't.
I don't
Remember.
know.
I don't know. It was very impressive to my brother. So,
Okay.
my darling.
Oh, you know what? Wait, really quick. I think instead of picking people that I've met yet, I would want to pick for that. I'm looking for a soulmate photographer and a soulmate animator.
Let's put that out there. I love that.
Yeah.
Soulmate animator and soulmate photographer. I found mine in Alan McIntosh. He's my soulmate photographer.
Oh, really?
He up-leveled my whole situation. Like, every time I take a photograph with him, people, like, die, and I'm like, it wasn't me. I just showed up. I was just a body. Literally.
That's what a good photographer does. They find you.
They fucking see the vision. So I want to talk about to Bobby. I really wanted to talk to you about this. What has been the most surprising thing about working with a partner?
Oh, I actually think it's extremely predictable. The most surprising thing is that we haven't broken up.
I mean, I say that like for any time that something lasts more than a date. That's incredibly shocking to me. But so what demon have you had to sort of work with inside yourself that enabled you to partner and not break up? Maybe that's a more fun question.
Well, like, so we started dating when we started writing King of LA together. We started writing the movie, and then we kind of fell in love while writing the movie. I know, it's beautiful.
Artistry right there. I love.
And then we decided to not have sex until the movie was done because I didn't want it to get derailed. And so we actually dated for 8 months before we slept together so that we could complete this film.
Do you think that attributed to the seriousness of your relationship? Like,
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely started us on the right track.
I love that. Oh, I feel like I'm a virgin, my darling. I feel like I'm a virgin because I haven't had sex all 4 of it, you know. But also because I feel like I haven't met my person, and it's not going to really be sex until it's sex with the right person.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Right?
I kind of feel like a virgin because I have been in quarantine with my partner for a year, and so we don't have sex either.
Oh, I guess no one has sex anymore. 2021 might be the best year for sex ever, though. Everyone's going to be out, you know?
I hope so.
With a vaccine and a mask. So, darling, what is replaced live performance? Live performance not happening right now. What's been getting you off in that way?
Oh God. Truthfully, I have extreme performance anxiety, which big surprise. Like I appear very aggressive, and that is me overcompensating for being scared. Naturally, I'm very silly and very playful and fun. And so anybody who's ever seen me perform live where they felt like threatened or like it was too aggressive or too intense, that was 100% a defense mechanism. So it's actually been really good for me to take time away and like only do video stuff and only do stuff that feels safer. Like I'm just like more confident now than I was before.
It's so interesting. And this is what I love about performers. I love because every performer is Brava, because speaking to you is such a different experience than you on stage. It truly is. What is something that people misunderstand about you who know you from the social media world or for live performance? What's a big misunderstanding?
I think it is in that it's in not understanding that I am scared, and like what's exciting to me about the performance when it becomes aggressive is that I'm becoming aggressive instead of giving up and running away. And I think there's always a handful of people in the audience who get that on a core level. And then after the show, they're like, holy shit, I love you. That was incredible. And then there's also a bunch of people who are like, why was that person so abrasive? Like, you know?
My darling, I get that because my whole brand is like overconfidence, you know? And so people don't realize that I actually am an incredibly lonely individual who lives by herself all the time. But that's the thing. It's very interesting how we create these staged events to exercise something that needs exercising that doesn't get exercised on other places. And just like Eminem says, he doesn't run around yelling at people that he's going to murder them. He gets it out in the studio and then he cuts. Sure. You know, so it is interesting when we exercise on stage can often be that a dichotomy of who we are. Okay, Ember, one more question. I love talking to you, by the way. Do you realize that whenever I see you as my alter, whenever she sees you on the street, she's like almost grabs you. She's like, hello. Because you're
nice to run into you.
You're such a nice person to run into. And we began the first time that my alter met you was in a clown class, and then we did a show in a truck together. So we really began well. I want to hear, Ember's dying. I'm really getting really into this death thing right now. Ember's dying because I feel like you're an epic person. You like epic storytelling. So Ember's dying, and she's looking back on her life, and she is so proud of Ember for what? Like the most success on your deathbed, you're saying, I'm proud of you for.
I think that I would actually be assassinated, and that would make me the most proud.
I love it. Okay, do we have any sort of like conspiracy theories about like, was it CIA? Was it like truly the guy? Who did
it? Might literally be the mafia from when I shot up the strip club with a squirt gun, because they did like call and send threats to my phone and to my emergency contact for like a year after we shot King of LA. So like, I don't know.
You know what I love is I love you being assassinated for like mildly humiliating some person with an ego. They're like,
it
that
would
was
be fitting.
Like, I felt silly. She made me feel silly, and now I go kill.
It would happen. They were mad.
You know what? The lunacy has only just begun. So let's just knock on wood for your life, okay, Cutie? I'm so pleased to have gotten the chance to meet with you in the community. So before you go and leave us, I have a commitment. I have abandonment issues. Every time like a live stream ends, I'm gonna be on the floor for like. What would you say if you were to like pass the torch to another fellow creative who might be tuning in right now? Is there any permission you want to give? Anything you want to share to help that person who might be a little bit afraid to put their work out or do their thing? Anything you want to share with the community?
Yeah, it would just be that those moments that are in between the ecstasy feel like they are forever, but you're always doing something important, even if you feel like you're being lazy. Like if you are in the process of skill acquiring, like you're just interested in learning how to do Photoshop right now, or if you're literally just like sitting around thinking and journaling and you hate yourself, like you are doing part of the project that does have to be done. And it's not as fun as when you're like actually shooting or actually editing or, you know, eventually getting to share it with other people. Those periods suck, but you're not doing nothing. And if you can try to remind yourself that that period has to happen, then you won't sabotage it by like screaming at yourself.
You know what? Roll the fuck over, Elizabeth Gilbert. That was some big magic shit. That was the big magic. That was, you just preached. I think all of us need to hear that. And that, you know, we might be fucking fatigued some days. You might be lit other days. You cannot be orgasming 24/7. She's tried. It's just gonna numb your foot off. There is a process, right? And we're always in it. There's no getting off. This is the thing, when you're a soul having a fucking human experience, you're on the ride, whether you feel good about it or you feel blasé about it or whatever, still on the ride.
And if you're putting something out every single day, that might be good and that might be important for your brand, but chances are like only a few of those things that you put out every day are going to end up being like really important, beautiful art. Like you can't make important, beautiful art every fucking minute. You can't.
I know. You know what song I hate? I keep coming with funky ass shit like every single day. Every time I hear that, I'm like, I actually
no, you're not.
Murder. I like to murder. No one comes up with funky ass shit every single day. That's a blatant lie. No. Well, my darling, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much. Before you leave, let's pull a goddess card. I love these bitches because they offer like really simple wisdom and they're cute while doing it.
Let's do it.
Have you ever fucked with the goddesses?
Not yet.
All right. First time for everything. Okay. Oh, this is perfect. Uncanny. Kali, endings and beginnings.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's it. That's the fucking goddess we need. The old must be released so that the new can enter. So you go smoke a pack of cigarettes, scream out the window if you got to, or just take a fucking nap. You're killing it. We're watching. We're streaming. How can we follow? How can we get obsessed with your work?
Oh, yeah. Follow me on at Embergler, which is the account linked here, I guess. And also I have a Patreon, patreon.com/EmberKnight, and that money goes towards the future projects that we're working on. I have a YouTube that's up to 1,600 subscribers, which is pretty sick. And don't follow me on Twitter because I never tweet.
Me neither. Oh, Twitter's for ex-presidents.
I hate it.
It's so boring.
It's
okay.
the worst.
You're the best. Thank you so much for joining. And
of course.
Probably streamed end.